Today we're taking a look at two of the best mice on the market right now. We have the Logitech Super Strike X2 and the Razer Viper V4 Pro. So unless you've been living under a rock, the Super Strike X2 is basically all anyone is talking about in the peripheral world right now. It's got this new hit system and haptic tech that's supposed to change everything. And then we have the Razer Viper V4 Pro. Razer didn't try to introduce anything new, but instead focused on pure refinement. Let's start with first impressions. I'm gonna start off with the Viper V4 because I'm very familiar with the Viper series. To me, the V4 Pro is as close as it gets to the perfect modern gaming mouse. The Viper shape has always been my personal favorite. It just has that perfect balance where it feels like nothing in your hand. At 50 grams for the white version, it's incredibly light, but the build quality still feels really solid. We now also have optical switches which eliminates all debounce delay. We have a new dongle with indicators. The factory skates are really nice and smooth, and we have an updated sensor. But what I'm most happy about is the scroll wheel. I've used the V3 Pro daily for years, and the scroll wheel was the only issue that I ever faced using the Viper V3. Now on the V4, we have an optical scroll wheel which should finally kill that problem for good. Plus now, we also have Razer Synapse on web-based software. My only complaint to the V4 is how sharp these optical switches sound. It's more of a vibe complaint, I would say, but you wouldn't be able to hear it yourself, but if you're not wearing headphones, it is pretty loud. It's honestly a great mouse that got overshadowed by the Super Strike because there was no new tech being implemented. And then we have the Super Strike, which uses the same shell as the Super Light, and funny enough, I have never tried a Super Light. Right out of the box, I had some issues. The stock feet are not great, and on top of that, it is also front heavy, and personally, I am not a huge fan of its shape and the side buttons. It feels really mushy. But the main talking point here is the haptics. There's no physical switch here. It's a simulation of a click. I've been testing it on the default level 3 feedback, and it's a very different sensation. It's not about the human reaction, but more about the point of actuation. Now, to add on to that, the battery life actually relies really heavily on the simulated feedback. The higher you have the feedback set to, the faster it's gonna drain your battery. And I tried running lower feedback so that I can have a more decent battery life, but too many misclicks happen, and I think the default setting of 3 is like the bare minimum you should be using the mouse on. Everything is easily adjusted on the hub, there's a lot of visuals to guide you, and it does take some time to get used to find the correct setting for yourself. Now, to make the comparison a little more fair, I swapped over to glass skates for both these mice. Because the Super Strike skates are not the best, and I don't really want to use that as a direct comparison, I want to focus a little more on the hit system. And you know, I get it, the glass skates, some of you not a fan of them, but personally, I'm really used to them and I do like them. I prefer it over using a glass mousepad because I want to have a desk mat on my desk. But now for the main question, does the Super Strike X2 actually make you better at games? I've been swapping between these two mice for the past 1 month playing CS, and the biggest difference you can feel is sniping. It's not necessarily helping you track better, but it's all about making you feel like you're shooting first. On top of that, the rapid trigger is also really nice to have. Spamming with the Tech 9 or dual Berettas, it feels like you're getting more clicks than any other mice. And I tried that on a clicks per second test, and it's undeniable. You're getting way more clicks with rapid trigger compared to a regular mouse. Yeah. The most important thing still comes down to your own reaction time above everything else. I personally am not a pro at any games, and I don't think many of you who are watching are pros either, so we can't really just take numbers that Logitech gives us based off pros kind of reviews. Now, this is a little sidetrack, but I came across a post on X which Logitech was sharing about a pro called Manasi. He is a crazy good opper. He's probably one of the best oppers in CS2's competitive scene. He's using this mouse and his settings are 545. When I saw that, I was like, that doesn't really make sense because with those settings, it's basically like using a regular mouse. But I can see why that might be the case. In CS2, sniping is the main upside from using this mouse. But it also has a pretty big downside. In CS, we have this action called flicking. You basically click and shoot and flick at the same time, so it's basically a lot about your spatial awareness and muscle memory. It's a very precise move that needs to be timed out, but with how fast your click is being registered with the hit system, it does feel a little off. Especially to me, I missed a lot of flicks when I first got onto the mouse. I can't say that it is a very big downside at the same time because it might be a skill issue or maybe something that takes a lot of time to just get used to. At the start, I definitely felt faster, but as the weeks went by and I kept switching between the V4 and the X2, that feeling kind of faded. In the gaming industry, we're constantly being told about reducing milliseconds to make us better gamers. But realistically, as someone who plays day in and day out, trying out different peripherals every week, we can't feel the fractions of a second. It's not going to turn you into a pro overnight. Ultimately, I still think the two main factors you should be considering is size and weight, whichever fits your hand size and matches your hand grip most. If you are using a super light, you are already a super light user, then upgrading to the Super Strike X2 is a no-brainer. You should do it. It's basically the same mouse but with newer tech. But what about the rest of us who don't love the shape of the Superlight, who don't use the Superlight and not used to the Superlight? Should we change over just because of the hit system and haptic touch? My answer is no. The tech itself is very impressive. I am still very fascinated by how Logitech managed to pull this off, but it doesn't beat comfort. Comfort of using the mouse that you are used to, a shape and weight that you like. It's undeniable that that might make you play better than something you're not used to or don't really like. At the end of the day, your grip style, the mouse weight, and how it actually feels in your hand will make you perform better than the reduced latency. So what I'm really excited to see is this custom actuation rapid trigger being introduced, being integrated into all the other brands, Asus, Razer, Corsair, Pulsar. I'm not too sure how many mouse brands I know, but we're getting into it, you know. So I'm really excited to see a Razer Viper V5, maybe with haptic touch, maybe with rapid trigger and custom actuation, because that would be really exciting, for me at least, so yeah. So if you're interested in any of these mice, I'll have them linked down below, and in the Shopee YouTube shopping cart, there is a 30% off discount if you click on the YouTube shopping cart, which you can use on Shopee. So aside from that, comment your thoughts on the Super Strike X2, like this video if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.